Go ahead.
Hi, my name is Lily, and today me and my group are going to be presenting our advertisement campaign for Uptown. So for our advertising campaign, we really wanted to implement our slogan, "This is Uptown," and it stems from the hashtag that we use in all of our social media platforms. The idea is we really want to create an identity for the brand. We want people to know who Uptown is, what we're about, and um, the overall image of who we are. The main idea is we really want to get our name out there for the community and Uptown partners and make everyone aware of what Uptown exactly is. We want to create a connection between the community of Pittsburgh to Uptown. So for our marketing strategy, our main focus is to gain more followers on all of our social medias, on our Instagram, our Facebook, our LinkedIn, and our Twitter. As you can see, if you look at the image, although we have hundreds of followers, we barely get any likes or engagement. So we really want to focus on getting more engagement for Uptown and creating more of a community feeling to Uptown and giving it more of a permanent name. We want to create a fun, engaging brand where people want to interact with, they want to follow us, they want to like our pictures. Lastly, our main target market is college students. Pittsburgh is a huge college city. There's over 5 colleges. We really want to target first movers, so people that are new to the city, as well as surrounding neighborhoods, so the north side, south side, and downtown. For target demographics, it's anyone and anyone. It's anyone that is within the city. It doesn't matter who they are or what they look like, because we really want to show that we're not exclusive and that we're very inclusive. Now I'm going to be passing off to Brandon.
All right, so for some background demographics, Uptown has a population of about 6,000, but if you take out college students and the prison, it's only about 750, which is 200 less than just 5 years ago. For their education levels, about 10% have less than high school, 40% have just a high school degree, and about 50% have some college or more. Their median income is $42,000, but this isn't really indicative of the area, as there's a few people way above that, but a lot of people well below. For the city of Pittsburgh, they have a population of about 300,000. They're slightly more educated than Uptown, and they have a median income of $50,000. Moving on to the SWOT analysis, the strengths of Uptown is their passion. They clearly have well intentions for the community, and the people working here are knowledgeable and share that passion. For the weaknesses, their office location can be troubling to get to for some residents of the area. The awareness that the community has in the company is something that we're trying to fix with this campaign. And then their social media is something they could better utilize. For their opportunities, the business potential specifically, since they're located between downtown and Oakland, is something they could take advantage of. The community pride is something they could build off of, and then connections with the government and the Penguins and UPMC is something they could take advantage of. As for threats, there is a negative perception of the area, which could potentially hinder things like businesses coming into the area. There's confusion about the name, if it's Soho, if it's the Bluff, if it's Uptown. The infrastructure could be worked on, things like roads and buildings. And then residents are understandably so hesitant towards change. I will pass it off to Michael.
Thank you, Brandon. And now moving on to our marketing mix. The first thing we really want to touch on was how important the effective use of social media platforms, specifically our Uptown partners, Instagram and Facebook, can be. Being that many would consider the younger demographics like college students to be quote unquote first movers when it comes to like the newest trends and things of that nature. If Uptown Partners is able to reach that audience through something like social media that basically everyone in that demographic is pretty familiar with, it'll be extremely advantageous just based on the numbers that they could gain. And while college students might jump into our campaign the quickest, we want all residents of Pittsburgh to be aware of the things that Uptown has to offer. And this is why we kind of want something more than just social media, which is leads me to my first thing being brochures. Putting them in places like bus stops and places throughout businesses in Pittsburgh, not just Uptown, will allow for a lot more, I guess, just I'm looking for a word. I'm so sorry. Awareness. And this will be a way just to get more publicity throughout the city. The last thing that we kind of want to touch on is trying to use contests as a way to get more people just genuinely interested and excited and talking about Uptown. And I'll talk a little bit more about that in the next slide. So in terms of like distribution, we want to direct people to some of the higher traffic areas in Uptown, whether that be some already pre-existing businesses like the 412 Rage Room or Amplified Church, or as we'll see here shortly, some new ideas that we're proposing Uptown partners to look into. And then the next point that we kind of want to take a look at is making sure that Uptown Partners is effectively using these like large national recognizable brands that they can use to help build their own identity. Whether that's playing the commercial that we'll get into here shortly at Penguins home games or at Duquesne games or Duquesne commencements, stuff like that, promoting some of the ads on their social medias. Their followings are a lot bigger than Uptown Partners, and utilizing this in some way, shape, or form will be very beneficial for Uptown Partners. Finally, going back to those contests that I was talking about in the previous slide, taking advantage of those extensive amount of universities is something that Uptown Partners needs to be better in. The opportunity to have these scavenger hunts around different campuses, having landmarks on different campuses as stops that kind of lead them back to Uptown is an easy way to drive traffic to the area. And these universities are full of our target market, which is very advantageous for Uptown Partners. And with all that, I'll hand it off to Kylie.
To start with our hero ad, it's kind of a commercial that we filmed for This is Uptown and for our advertisement campaign. But all of our graphics are a little bit different because we have such a broad target market and we want to make sure that everybody's really being listened to. And with that, I'm going to play the video. I think Uptown is a place that's overlooked. It's got creative artists and beautiful murals all over the neighborhood. It's a place you can obtain an education that will make you a competitive asset in the workplace. It houses some of the most competitive sports teams in the country. And it also brings in world famous musicians to perform. Uptown also has the only level 1 trauma center in the region. When it comes to Uptown, there's innovation everywhere, but nobody knows where it is. Uptown's located between the Birmingham Bridge and the 10th Street Bridge, and Uptown Partners is right in the heart of all of this. We're dedicated to preserving the history and culture of Uptown.
We want people to know us by our name. Some people call us the Bluffs, Soho, the Hill, but to us, this is Uptown.
This is Uptown.
This is Uptown.
And then moving on to, I think, our next ad. This is Uptown was obviously our slogan. So this is our theoretical bus ad, but it could be used for other things. So we have different pictures on there, 1 to represent the present, and then 2 to represent the future of what Uptown Partners really wants Uptown to look like. But both things are obviously still Uptown, which is why we want to keep on with the idea of This is Uptown. Which is our campaign title. And then obviously we kind of created this logo that we put on our video, put on this. So it's kind of creating intention to inspire interest in Uptown as a community and as an organization, since both are important. And then here is our mocked up bus ad for the side of a bus stop. And then I'm going to pass it off to Gillian to talk about the rest of our advertisement campaign.
Thanks, Kylie. So now we're going to look at the brochure that we created. So like Brandon said, this is something that we could potentially hand out to community members. It's something that could be handed out to people in multiple different areas, such as the Pittsburgh Penguins games, Duquesne University, or people just passing through the community to let them know a bit more about Uptown, who it is, and who Uptown Partners are as well. So this is something that we want to use to target those who don't use social media within the community. A lot of the people who live in Uptown are a bit older or might not want to interact with social media, which is completely understandable. So this is a great way to make sure that the contact information and location of Uptown Partners gets out to those community members as well as a bit more information about the Eco Innovation District to let community members know what the plan is, what's going to be happening, and how Uptown Partners is aiming to support, beautify, and better Uptown rather than change it. There's also a list of programs that Uptown Partners supports and has created in order for community members to get a bit more involved in those as well. And then looking at our next piece, planning on a mural. This will be, of course, commissioned by local artists, either in the community of Uptown or Pittsburgh as a whole. Uptown Partners already supports the arts wholly with their program, Uptown Arts. You can see on this left side or in the center, there's a few different examples of murals that already exist within Uptown. And then on the right side is inspiration for a community art center, something that people will be able to come to, whether you are from Uptown or outside of Uptown, like students or people passing through. Something like Randyland, or these two other examples, they're from places around the world. It's something that we want to be unifying to show where and what Uptown is, as well as including the slogan, "This is Uptown," as well as facets that make the community special, whether that's landmarks or different parts of the history of Uptown. And on this next slide is just an example of something bright, something eye-catching, again, including the "This is Uptown" logo. It will be something that is a community space that everybody can come to in order to connect to Pittsburgh and connect to Uptown through art. So I will pass it on next to Anqi, who's going to talk about what's next for this campaign.
Okay, so all in all, in order to keep the pace of this comprehensive advertising campaign, we have listed several suggestions for the Uptown partners. So the first suggestion is to film the concept of our video with a professional, because we believe there are some spaces to improve and advocate the video. And then one of the most essential suggestions is to help the Uptown partners to reach out to new community partners in order to establish some potential partnerships in the future. Because the main reason is that we can help the Uptown partners to make the goals of organization clear to the community. And since the partnership is the main source of the funding, Uptown partners can extend their awareness by hosting the community events among the block parties, holiday market, and so on. And then while holding these events, social media is the best way for the promotion so that Uptown partners can outreach to people in Pittsburgh. And basically, the continuous advertisement campaign is the priority for the Uptown partners because we have the common goal of make "This is Uptown" the organization's slogan. And last but not least, the continuous campaign may include the slogan section. So we will help the Uptown partners to get creative with the slogan in the form of the spray paint sidewalks or give out t-shirts, stickers to students. So lastly, this is the overall advertising campaign for the Uptown partners in the Pittsburgh. So we hope you can take advantage of this, and thank you for listening.